Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? So I am super excited for this video because I thought I would go ahead and do a little get ready with me and try some new makeup out. And I kind of have a story to go along with the box of new makeup that I have in front of me. I had a subscriber send a very generous gift, and it's hard for me to talk about because I still feel so overwhelmed and I can't comprehend the generosity or what I did to deserve it. I have thanked her personally, privately, but I do want to say thank you again to Crystal. I don't know how to say thank you enough because I'm so overwhelmed that I don't know, it's hard for me to even talk about. She sent 2 boxes of makeup and skincare and gifts for Roman, and I don't know how to process it, but thank you so much. I went to my P.O. box and I parked like a half a mile away because there was no parking, and I was not trying to parallel park somewhere my vehicle did not fit. So I was like, oh, it's no big deal. And then like whenever I was walking back with the packages, like I thought my shoulder was actually gonna fall off because it was so heavy. So I'm like so blown away. I feel awkward even talking about it. So I thought I would go ahead and do like just a first impression type video because I think that they're so fun to film and I have so many exciting products in front of me. So I thought I would go ahead and show you guys really quickly what I'm going to be trying out today. I think you'll be really excited to hear my thoughts on these products as well. And there's kind of like this like anxiousness that I feel because I put so much like I put gifts in such a special category. When someone gives me something, it's like it's a really important thing to me, and I don't just think like, oh, this is a gift. Like it's like, this is a gift. So it's kind of hard for me because I want to be able to also give my honest opinions. So if it's like, if someone sends me a gift but I hate it, it's like I like in real life, like as a human being, like if someone gave me the worst gift in the world, I would still say that I liked it because I would not want to take away their joy or their blessing. So it's kind of like if I try a palette and I don't like it, then it's like it was a gift. So how can I say publicly that I don't like it? It's like this internal battle that I have, but I've decided the way that I'll get through that, because you know I'm going to use these, I don't want them to just sit, is that if there is something that I end up not loving, I will definitely 100% do my best to make sure that it goes to another home where it will be very loved. Okay, so I'm sorry for the super long intro. So one of the oh gosh, okay, I'm like, one of the things, there's so many things. Okay, so I'm very excited about this. I'm going to be trying out the Natasha Denona Sunrise palette, which looks like this. This was the like 15 pan mini palette that Natasha Denona released recently, and I thought was really stunning, especially because I've been super into neutrals lately, and I think that this will be so beautiful for fall. I liked it, but it wasn't like I'm gonna purchase it. I feel like Natasha Denona is kind of one of those brands where I just have to like really sit on it and think. Like right now I'm obsessed with the Metropolitan. Is that what it is? Or is it Metropolis? The Metropolis palette I think is so stunning, but I'm giving it time. So I thought this was beautiful, and I've seen such stunning looks with it. There's fingerprints already on it, but there's what the outside looks like, and here is the the inside. So it is really beautiful. I mean, it's a sunset palette, so I'm gonna try that out today. Again, I'm like, I have no words. So I have a bunch of new products from Fenty Beauty that I'm super excited to try, which is why I don't have brows on yet. So I've got a brow pencil, which is the Brow MVP Ultra Fine Brow Pencil and Styler in the shade True Red. I was really curious to try these brow pencils, and I'm curious to see how this shade will end up being. Let me just pull it out. So there's the packaging. Because I was so excited about Fenty's brow line because they had 4 different shades for redheads, which are a lot of times left out. And then I saw someone do these swatches and they were so intense and dark, and I was like, there's no way that any of those colors would work for me. But so many of y'all told me that that's not what they look like in real life, and that I need to go to a Sephora and actually swatch them and see. And I've been meaning to do that, but I don't have a Sephora near me, so it hasn't been like a priority. Oh, okay, let's see. Okay, so it is kind of, it feels buildable, like it's not like super pigmented right off the bat. Oh my goodness, I can't imagine what the person who did those super deep dark swatches, how hard they must have rubbed it on their arm. So there's the color. I think it actually does look okay. So I'm excited to try that and definitely gonna give it a chance. The packaging is kind of interesting. It's like a little triangle rather than a circle. Oh, that's not the right part of the triangle. Okay, is that okay? There we go. So also from Fenty Beauty is a bronzer that I've talked about wanting for a really long time, and I've tried to talk myself out of this for so long. This is the Instant Warmth Bronzer Sunstalker bronzer in the shade Into Sun, and it just looked like the perfect tone. I actually haven't even seen this in person yet, but just from like what I've seen people say online, and the packaging looked beautiful, and I love Fenty. So, oh gosh. Oh, it's so stunning. Okay. So there's what it looks like. Ooh, yeah, that definitely looks like a nice color. So there is Into Sun. Doesn't smell like anything, so very, very excited to try that out. I love bronzer. The craziest part is that what I'm showing you guys right now is not even all of it, it's just a portion. But next is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Hydrating Longwear Foundation, which I was super excited about this. I just thought that it sounded really good. The shade is 110, which I'm excited about because I have the shade 100 in the matte foundation. I don't really love the formula, and I feel like it's just a touch too dark for me, but it's kind of a good mixing shade. So I'm excited to try 110, and I've heard pretty good things about this. I love a dewy hydrating foundation. I was kind of tempted between this and the Anastasia foundation, but I actually didn't end up picking up either. The Anastasia one I was thinking of getting with my Ulta points, and then this one was just like a in the future type of purchase because of my low buy rules. So definitely excited about that. And then to pair along with it is their hydrating primer, which I really don't know anything about this. It's the Pro Filter Hydrating Primer. I don't think I've seen any reviews on it. Oh my gosh, the packaging is super nice though. So there's what the packaging looks like. It's like that really nice nude color. Okay, so next I have the Too Faced Do You Translucent Radiant Pearl powder, and she left a little note that she had bought this and it didn't work for her, but she thought I might want to try it, and I definitely would love to try it. I think like I'm all about the glowy powders, and I have one that I absolutely love from Laura Mercier, but unfortunately they're not cruelty free, so I'd love to find a cruelty free dupe for it. So here's what it looks like. I'm a little nervous because the foundation in this line did break me out because of the intense smell. Okay, this has a little bit of a smell to it, but it's not as strong. It's more subtle, so definitely so excited to try that out. I think I'm gonna have a really, really glowy face today. And then continuing on the glowiness, I have the Anastasia Dewy Set setting spray, which I don't have words. Oh gosh, I've heard really good things about this. I think the like the little spray looks really cool. It actually reminds me a lot of like the hairdresser type bottles that are like this, and you press them down, they do the really soft mist. I recently got a haircut and I saw the hairstylist using that, and it was like so soft and it was just like the perfect mist. So I went and bought one for my mom because she's obsessed with spraying clothes just a little bit so they're just barely wet, and then she'll sit there and like do this and like shake them out, and it's her way of getting wrinkles out without having to iron because she hates ironing. So I got her one of those sprays and she absolutely loves it. I was so excited to gift it to her, and the packaging reminds me exactly of that. So I think it's probably going to be a really fine mist, and the packaging is super pretty. She also included quite a few different like minis from Milk Makeup and I think it was like a gripping primer, and I'm actually not really familiar with Milk Makeup at all. I've never tried any of their products, so I'm super excited to give them a chance. And I pulled out this one today. It's their lip and cheek little stick. I don't know what it's called, but it's in the shade Work, and it looks like, oh no, what did I do? Oh, there's product on the bottom. Okay, that wasn't what I was supposed to do. Oh, I think you just, I'm a mess. Look what I did. Goodness gracious. I'm such a mess. It's not even funny. But I'm excited to try that out. I'm gonna like have to scrape that top part off the top. Goodness. I thought today I would also go ahead and try out the Too Faced Tutti Frutti Twinkle Liquid Glitter Eyeshadow in the shade Guava Glitz. I have one of these in a blue shade. It might be like Ice Queen, and I think it's really beautiful. And I wasn't familiar with this color per se, but I think it is stunning. I mixed it up because it was separating a little bit, but it's kind of like this gold with like purple flecks throughout it. So I thought that would be really pretty with the Natasha Denona palette. And then last but certainly not least, just for what I'm trying out today, is this set from Pat McGrath. So these are the Pat McGrath Labs Mini Lust Glosses, the version Skin Show Cool. It says first edition limited release. So the shades are Dare to Bear, Divine Rose, and Pale Fire Nectar. I'm not really familiar with these because Pat McGrath is one of those brands that's kind of on like the gray for whether they're cruelty free or not. They now say that they do not test on animals on their website, but gosh, I can't remember. It was either like Cruelty Free Kitty or Logical Harmony or someone still said that they're not cruelty free. So I mean, it's good for my bank account that I ignore them as a brand. I'm like, oh, they're cool, they're great, like they're doing good things, but I'm not gonna buy them. However, since it's here, how could I not try nude glosses, honestly, when it's Pat McGrath? So, oh goodness. Okay, I don't even know how to open this. It's too fancy. All right, so those are the 3 shades. They look absolutely stunning. I love all of them. Even this more glittery one, which I can kind of stay away from sometimes, is like the most beautiful pinky golden color. So I think that'll be a beautiful topper, and then both of these look like very everyday glosses to me. So, oh goodness, I think you could probably tell why I'm overwhelmed. I just realized I've been talking for 21 minutes now and I haven't even started my makeup, so I apologize. I'm so sorry, but I'm gonna go ahead and start off with the Fenty Beauty brow pencil and just give it a go. I took off the other side hoping for a spoolie, and it's like, it looks like one of those little oval brushes. That's amazing. Why is that so funny? Oh my goodness. Okay. Very, very intrigued about that. I was not expecting it. So I can see slight red tone to it, which is kind of different for me just because I've been using taupes for so long because I just gave up on finding the perfect red. So it's kind of weird to see a red in my brows, even though that's the color of my hair naturally. Alright, so from what I can see so far, I do like the formula just because I feel like it's not too pigmented, so I can take my time and kind of build it up. So that actually looks to be a pretty good color match, which I'm excited about, so I would definitely keep using that pencil. Really quickly, I'm just going to go ahead and use the Anastasia eye primer to prime my eyes. Maybe I won't do full swatches, but I can just swatch a few that really caught my attention out of this palette. So this shade right here called Aster, definitely. Oh goodness. Okay, it's like a purple with a blue shift. That one just caught my attention. Citrine. Yellow feels really creamy. Glory. Ooh, that's really pretty. And then like Awakening right here looks stunning as well. Oh, that's like a peachy shade. That's really pretty. I feel like that would be such a nice, just like one shadow type of look color. Alright, so not super special swatches, but I just wanted to kind of look at them real quick. That yellow looks very, very vibrant. Huh. Okay. I have no idea what I'm doing. It might be kind of lame, but I actually do think I want to go ahead and do a really simple eye look. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with this like peachy shade right here called Morgan. Just going to pop that right into my crease. Ooh. That's really beautiful. I wasn't expecting it to be so vibrant. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab that peachy, beautiful shade right here called Awakening. I'm actually just going to grab it on my finger because I feel like being lazy. And I'm gonna pop that all over the lid. Oh my goodness, that is beautiful. Especially with the peach and the crease. Such a simple but still beautiful eye look. All right, now that the lid's covered, I'm just gonna go back in with my previous brush and just blend the crease. I feel like that was so simple, so quick, but I really like that. So I know that's kind of like a very like quick first impression of this palette, but I've already talked so much. I mean, I'll use a few more shades on my lower lash line when we get to that, but I think this is perfect. And it's definitely the kind of makeup I've been gravitating towards lately. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and grab the Fenty Beauty Hydrating Primer. Just gonna do, I guess, like a pump. Okay, I did somewhat about a pump. It was kind of like that odd thing when you first start using something and just a little bit comes out and then a little more. So just gonna go ahead, throw that all over my skin. Very curious to see how this goes and how hydrating it is, because I love a hydrating primer. I wouldn't say that it feels silicone-y per se, but it does kind of have that like really, really smooth feel to it. Okay, it's already kind of absorbed in. I would say it doesn't feel like the most hydrating primer I've ever felt in my life. Maybe this would be good at hydrating for someone who has like normal skin or oily skin, but it doesn't feel like super, super nourishing. Maybe I'll go ahead and I'll just like add just a little bit more, especially to like this area. Because when we get into winter, I love to use my Glossier Priming Moisturizer Rich, which is a very thick primer, and that's my go-to for like every day. Or this could also be good during the summer. It doesn't have any SPF in it, but it's called Soft Silk. I didn't realize that, and it definitely has like that soft silky feel. All right, now for foundation, I am so hopeful that I'll love this just because it sounds like it's going to be right up my alley, and I also think the packaging is really, really nice, and I would prefer to have a Holy Grail foundation that has this kind of packaging, because one time I had the Born This Way foundation, which I really liked from Too Faced, and I dropped it and glass shattered everywhere, and I wasted like $30 of foundation. So ever since then, I've kind of side-eyed glass bottles, even though they're super nice. I would prefer something like this just because you know, if I accidentally drop it, I'm not going to break it. So I'm just going to go ahead and do like a pump. Maybe if it'll come out. Oh goodness. Okay, it looks pretty pale. Perfect for winter. I'm gonna go ahead and grab my sponge and just a touch of the product and start buffing that. Or technically I'm not buffing, I'm stippling it in, bouncing it in. Okay, actually I think the match looks pretty good. Maybe just the tiniest touch lighter than me, but I did get a little bit, a touch of sun this summer, so it should be perfect for winter. But looks like it's got good coverage. It's not like super intensely dewy, but it's definitely not matte either. It's very natural looking. It smells good too. My best friend actually has been testing samples of this out, and she loves it because it smells like her favorite Dior perfume, which I can't remember what the actual name of is off the top of my head, but she texted me and was like, you have to smell the Fenty foundation. All right, so that entire area was just one tiny little pump, so I'm going to go ahead and do just a touch more for my forehead, but I think it has really good coverage. I can still see my freckles peeking through a little bit, but overall it looks really nice, and I don't mind my freckles peeking through. I just feel like they're a really good indicator, because when something is full coverage, you don't see them. So I feel like Fenty is probably the only brand where I could go 3 foundation shades in. Like, I think I could go 1 shade darker than this and still be good. And I don't know if there's any other brands I've tried where I could go that many foundation shades in, because normally I'm the lightest or lighter than the lightest. So I just think that's amazing. I'm kind of adding a touch more to the center of my face. Mostly just because I've been breaking out. I was trying to think of what concealer I wanted to use today, and I just remembered that I have this e.l.f. concealer I bought with my Ulta points, and I haven't taken it out or used it or tried it yet, just because I've been trying to finish a few concealers first, because I'm like at the bottom of several. But I thought, you know, I'm doing a first impression, a bunch of new makeup, so I may as well go ahead and pull this out. I have the shade Fair Rose. I was kind of in between on what shade to get because they had a lot of shade options for really fair skin, but this one was $5 and all the other shades were $6. It's the lightest one, so I was like, well, I'll save $1. So I'm curious. Okay, it looks pretty brightening, but I do kind of like a highlighted under eye. It smells just like the Wet n Wild foundation, like paint. The reason I was so interested to try this concealer is because people compare it to Tarte Shape Tape all the time now. And I love my Tarte Shape Tape. So I can definitely see that a little bit in the coverage, but I would have to test it out like long term to be able to say and compare to Tarte Shape Tape, because my Tarte Shape Tape sets itself and I wear it without powder all the time, and a lot of concealers you can't do that for. So we'll see. But so far I think it looks nice. I mean, it's a little bit white. It's very bright. But again, that's nice to see. It'll be good to mix with other things I have that are too dark. It's only been on for a few seconds, but it looks really good. Like, it's not creasing at all. On my little bags here. And it might feel like it's setting itself. Like, it doesn't feel super tacky. My goodness. Okay. Okay, I like it. I'm probably going to go ahead and grab just a little bit of powder just for the heck of it today. I'm going to go ahead and use my Snap Cat setting powder from Kitten Boss Cosmetics because I've been liking it. And I'm just going to really lightly set just right here and nowhere else. Just a little tiny bit. Color me impressed. Alright, before I go in with any more powder, I'm going to go ahead and use the Milk little cheek stick just to try it out, even though I feel so sad that I messed it up completely. So I guess I'm just gonna kind of, oh my gosh, I'm the worst, roll it up and just add a little bit to my cheeks. Looks to be like a really beautiful natural shade. Just gonna go ahead and blend that in. Ooh, okay. Oh, ooh, I should mention the Fenty foundation feels like it completely set itself. It doesn't feel tacky. Just gonna go ahead and blend that in. I feel like that's not completely blended. I'm gonna go with my sponge just to help the process. It did sheer out quite a bit. It's definitely something I'll have to play with a little bit and see how I end up liking to use it the most. Might want to try it with a brush, might want to try applying it with my fingers instead of right onto my cheeks. But it gives a really, really natural rosy glow, and the foundation feels really nice. I mean, I feel like I don't even have to set the foundation. It looks beautiful. It feels really great, but I am going to go ahead and set it just because I want to try the Do You powder. I'm actually going to go with my really cool Laura Mercier brush that goes with the other powder that I was mentioning that I really love, but that I don't want to use because it's not cruelty free, which this brush technically isn't either. Goodness gracious, but it's such a good brush. It's ridiculous, and I don't know of any other like dupes for it because of the way that it curves the cheek. It's just, and it's so soft. But I'm gonna go ahead and just like do this on my cheeks, and then I kind of just set my whole face. Okay, so the powder does not have a super strong scent to it, which I really appreciate. But I don't know if I see a whole ton of glowiness. I mean, it doesn't look matte, so maybe if it's something like you need it to set a foundation, it would be good to set it while still remaining glowy. But because the foundation had already kind of set itself and it was already a bit glowy, I don't see a huge difference. But it feels nice. Alright, so now going in with the bronzer. I'm so excited. I already got my ugly little fingerprints all over. Ooh, I wonder if you could like steal someone's makeup that has like this kind of packaging and like frame them for murder. I'm just grabbing a little random brush from BH Cosmetics. This was from the Rose Quartz set. I'm actually curious to, let me swatch this. Just curious to see how pigmented it is. I mean, that looks like such a good color. So that's it blended on the back of my hand. I mean, you can see it just almost looks like it's a shadow. It's super, super light. So I think this will be a good brush because it's kind of flimsy. So it'll, I don't know. I'm just going to go ahead and try it. Stop overthinking. I haven't been as into matte bronzers lately. I've been using a lot of glowy ones, but that's like the perfect subtle bronzer for fair skin. Like, it's just a little tiny bit. And it's not super orange or red. It just looks like a really soft brown tone. Okay, so I feel like I'm having so many good first impressions right now. Everything is so good. I really, really like this. I think it is the most amazing bronzer. Like, I think I like it even more than the butter bronzer, which I feel like is saying a lot. Like, just something about the tone is so, so good. She also sent the butter bronzer in the light shade and then a Milani bronzer, which I'm also really excited to try both of those and see how I like them. But this, so good. All right, for my highlighter, I'm just gonna go ahead and grab my Becca Moonstone just because I feel like it'll go with like this glowy natural skin and it won't be like too intense of a highlighter. I also really need to use this more because it is very pretty. Just gonna pop that on the tops of my cheekbones. All right, so to finish off my eyes, I'm gonna go ahead and grab Morgan and I'm gonna pop that along the lower lash line. The more I look at this palette, the more I like the colors. Like I'm just staring at it in person. I'm like, I could do this and I could do this. And like this shade, the Cornelian shade right here, oh, that looks such like, oh, that looks so beautiful. This is definitely, oh no. I accidentally dipped into the Cornelian because I was thinking about it. I'm just gonna go ahead and throw a little bit of that on my lower lash line on like the outer part. I didn't mean to dip into it, but that's fine. We can add a little pop of yellowy orange. And then I'm gonna grab the lighter gold shade right here, which I don't know if it's Agate or Agate, but I'm gonna grab it on my pencil brush. And I'm gonna pop that on the inner corner. Ooh, it's a really pretty soft golden inner corner. On the bright side, I feel like from playing with it so far, I do really like the formula, and I feel like sometimes the Natasha Denona formula can be a little bit hit and miss, or like some palettes are better than other palettes, but so far, I think this is really nice. To finish up my eyes, I'm going to go into my ColourPop Mr. Bing liner and the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, and then I'll be right back. Alright, so I'm really loving how this look is turning out. I feel like it's super flattering and soft and just super beautiful. So I realized I totally forgot to use the Too Faced glitter, and I actually went ahead and swatched it on my hand, and it's pretty light, but it has those shifts throughout it, so it is really beautiful. And I thought maybe I could go ahead and just pop this over my inner corner, and that would be really pretty. Ooh, that looks very purple. Okay, just gonna pop it on, and then I'll grab my little pencil brush and shear it out, or not. Okay, it sheared out so much more on my hand. Alright, so maybe I should have done this before mascara, but I'm just gonna go ahead and shake my Anastasia Dewy set. Oh my gosh. I just realized, I don't know, this is so silly, but I feel like these two products look so perfect together. Same vibes. Alright. Does anyone else get weird about spraying things on your face for the first time? Okay, let's see. Okay. It smells good. I feel like it's kind of like that perfect in between. I like sprays to be misty, but I want them to be strong enough that I can feel it going on my face and I feel like it's doing something. Like, for example, I'm not like the biggest fan of the Morphe one just because I don't like how airy it is. I feel like it's too airy. It doesn't feel like it's doing anything. I feel like it definitely added a little bit of glowiness. I want to look closer because I was looking at the foundation when I did my mascara. Okay, it did help the foundation a little bit because I noticed when I was doing my mascara that the areas where I added a second layer of foundation and I built it up a little bit, i.e. right here, which actually is where I put mascara, or not mascara, I didn't put mascara there, where I put concealer as well, so maybe it was the concealer's fault, but it looks a little bit cakey right here and just a little bit dry. And then same with this area here. Actually, it's mostly just this side, not this side. I noticed just a little bit of not loving the texture of my skin, but everywhere else it looks really beautiful, and the setting spray did help. So I'm thinking I'll try the foundation again with my Glossier primer and see how that combination ends up. But I think overall my skin looks really good despite the fact that I'm breaking out like crazy. All right, last but not least is the glosses, and I thought it'd be fun to go ahead and just do lip swatches of all three because they're here and they're beautiful and I really want to try all of them. So I guess maybe I'll go like lighter to darker. I'm going to start off with the shade Pale Fire Nectar. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. It smells very familiar, but I can't place it. I don't know what it is about this smell, but it reminds me of something like from my childhood or something, but not just childhood. Like it reminds me of something comforting. Like when I smell it, it smells homey. Not actually like a home or anything, but just it has that like comforting homey scent to it. I don't know. It'll take a while for me to remember, but okay, that is really beautiful and glossy. And you can only see like the little like reflex just a little bit, like the actual color change. I feel like it actually looks very, very natural. Feels very comfortable, very moisturizing. So I did have a chapstick on underneath that kind of tends to like make my dry skin go crazy, and like I'll get like little skin flakes everywhere. So I feel like there was one right there. It wasn't the lip gloss's fault, but that is really beautiful. 10 out of 10 would use that again. Okay, next is the shade Dare to Bear, which is probably what I'm most excited about because I love a nice, really nude shade. Oh yeah. So it is a little bit sheer. It's not like super true to color, but it is incredibly glossy. Like it's like the glossy kind of look. Like sometimes glosses are just a little bit of a sheen, but this is what I'm all about. So I really, really, really like that shade. Oh goodness, I don't even want to take it off because it's so beautiful. All right, last but certainly not least, gonna go ahead and do Divine Rose, which looks kind of like a mauve color. A little bit different. It seems a little bit more pigmented, and it doesn't have like the shimmeriness that the other colors have. It's not quite as emphasized as far as the shimmer, but the actual glossiness is so beautiful. Like I really like the formula. I have no idea what these cost. Like I feel like they're probably super expensive whenever you get the full size. I mean, it is the minis, which is perfect for me because I already have way too many glosses, and I think I'm definitely gonna go ahead and maybe throw this one in my purse for now. But I think they're all so beautiful, and I do really, really like the way that they just look on the lips. Curious to see how they'll end up wearing. Alright, so this is the finished look, and I really love how it turned out. I feel like it is so beautiful and glowy and natural and flattering, and just kind of more of what I've been going for lately, but also it feels extra special since most of what's on my face was a gift. So thank you again to Crystal. I'm so, so grateful, and I really had an amazing first impression. I feel like a lot of times when I do first impressions and I do like all these different products at the same time, I end up not liking the finished results, or I'm like not crazy about this or not crazy about that. But overall, I'm very happy with the finished face. The only thing is just that little bit of like cakiness in these areas where I built up a little bit extra coverage. Not a huge fan, but I think that I'm going to find a way to work around that. And the foundation, it felt like it set itself. It felt really nice. So it's definitely something I continue to see myself using. Gosh, I mean, it's too much for me to go through and give you my quick thoughts on everything. But my favorite products today would definitely be the glosses. The glosses are beautiful. The Sunset palette. Oh wait, no, Sunrise. Have I been saying sunset the whole time? The Sunrise palette, I think is stunning, and it's just a really nice warm palette, which I feel like this is one of those like luxury things where I would tell myself, no, you can't buy that. Like It's something you already have. It's warm tones. You have warm tones, but I just love Natasha Denonna's formula. I feel like it's so effortless and beautiful, so definitely gonna be using that. I think it will also be pretty with the gold palette. And then I also just have to mention the bronzer in the Sun. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. Like, the tone is so perfect, like so good. So I'm actually going on a trip this weekend, and I can 100% guarantee that I'm packing this, no questions asked. I'm obsessed. I love it. So that is everything for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.